Alright, before we go ahead and add our rust simulation, I kind of noticed that I got a little gap there in between my top roof and my side panel. Well, that's a real easy fix, and I'm going to show you how to do that. We're just going to take a little bit of our gap filling glue here, and we're just going to squeeze just a little bit into an old mixing bucket, and what I like to use for paint. And what I do, I just take an old paintbrush and kind of just fill that area with a little bit of gap filling glue. And the next trick is, which you see a lot of modelers do, and one of my favorite modelers out there is Model Man Tom. If you guys really want to learn how to build models, head over to his site. He's does some really wonderful sci-fi models. And what you want to do here is just take a little bit of your baking soda mixture, or just a little bit of baking soda, and just kind of just fill that in with a little bit of baking soda, and it dries instantly. It's already dried on my brush, and what that'll do, it'll just fill those gaps, and then you got a nice clean area there. So when we spray right over the top of that with our rust mixture, you won't see that gap anymore. And there's a lot of different methods of ways people do this. This is the way that I like to work, because I don't like to get a lot of this powder all over my piece. And this way I have just a little bit better control over my mixture. But we just go ahead and wipe that away, and we got a nice clean surface there, and no gaps. Alright, that cleaned up pretty well. I'm not worried about even sanding that down, because that texture right there is just going to kind of give us even a little more simulation of natural rust. So I can just spray right over the top of that without any worries at all. Right, this is the area where we're going to be laying down some of our railings. I'm just going to start working it in all in this area here, wrapping around the entire case and all the way around here. So it's going to be a lot of work today. But one of the things that you probably guys noticed is what happened to the paint job here. Actually, I made a little bit of a mistake. I forgot to Dremel in all my little rivet holes, kind of like the ones that you see up here. Forgot to put them in down here, so I had to go back and lay down a primer coat back over the top of this, and I have to go in and re-Dremel this, re-sand it down, and there's some areas in here that actually need some putty, so I'm going to do that too. So let's go ahead and get started creating these railings, go in and Dremel all these little holes in, and get this part of the project started. Alright, what I got working here is just a little bit of a stencil. It's the first part of what I need to do to start creating these railings. I want to lay this down first, create a piece of thin plastic styrene, and then just start building all my pieces right on top of that. And then once that's finished, we'll just install the whole piece at once. So what I'm doing right now is just marking out where the front entrance is, where the hard drive bay is, where the hard drive bay door is going to come out. Just a little bit of math so I can create all these railings without it interfering with any functionality of the PC. Alright, I finished all the raw construction here. What I need to do right now is just add a little bit of putty in some of the seams and do a little bit of light sanding. And then I can go in and start adding the paneling detail in all these areas here, and then move around to the back and add some little V-groove right to the back here. And then we can go in and start adding our little railings right over the top. And once we finish that, then we can start working on a paint job. Alright, I got this front panel power switch here from an old PC case of mine, and what we're planning on doing is taking this piece from an old sci-fi model kit, and we're just going to carefully cut this area out in here. That way we can access our power switch and our power reset switch. Also drill holes for the hard drive LEDs as well, and the activity light. So what we're going to do is go ahead and build up a little base here, and then we'll just put this right on top. And then for the cable sleeving, what we're going to do is we're just going to tie all this cable right through this plastic duct here, and I'm just going to paint this up so it looks like a ventilation duct inside our case. And this will be detached right on the front of our case, just like so. We'll create this little base for it with a bunch of steam pipe and venting come right out of it. It should be pretty cool when we're all done. So let's get started working on this. Alright, we finished up most of the raw construction here. There's a few more probably steam pipes and vents that I'll probably add to the top over here, but we're pretty much close to being done. We added some generator towers and of course our front panel connection here. If you just press this button here, this is going to activate our PC. We got our hard drive activity light, our power connection activity light, and our reset pin as well. I'm going to install probably the USB and the front panel audio probably over here on the side someplace. But right now let's just go ahead and start thinking about a color scheme. I've had a lot of people request if I can do a full-length video on just how to achieve some of these weathering and paint effects, so I'm going to do that for you today as well. So let's go ahead and just get some paint mixed up and start spraying it out and get this part pretty much close to finish. Alright, now I'm just kind of going in with my metallic silver paint and just adding some scratch and chip marks in here. Yeah, I just want to share with you guys real quick exactly what's kind of just transpired over the last 24 hours. I have this project over in the project forums in kits.Net, and this project is actually up for Computer Mod of the Month over there. So if you want to support my project, head over to kits.Net and give your vote if you choose, and check out some of the other great projects that are up for nomination as well. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in to these videos. Thanks to my subscribers for sticking with me through all these months. Stay inspired, guys. Keep creating, and I'll see you in part 10.